Okay. So, Urso, we are live right now, but as my audience probably knows, we've had quite a few issues with our setup so far. So I did want to just kind of pop on real fast while I'm tweaking my devices and figuring all this crap out to apologize that this has been just kind of a huge disaster from the viewer's perspective, I'm very sure. But I'm going to do my best to get this second round captured exactly the way it's supposed to be. Right. And I am just about ready to go on that front. I'm going to be doing this. The reason I'm letting my audience hear all of this crap right now is because I have decided that I need to see for myself on the screen on YouTube that this is working correctly so that I am able to give everybody the show that they deserve to have. So I'm going to turn off my little floating input thing, press F5 to hide that little menu.
Right, light blue or village south.
And I think we are just about good to go with all of this setup crap. I think we might just have ourselves a proper game of squad here live on YouTube.
I would say go with Aiden so you can drop
well,
that
I wouldn't say unfortunately, but I am not live, but I will be
side
recording from my side.
forward.
So at least we can...
This whole thing or so has just been a giant mess, but I think we finally figured it out. Maybe I figured it out. I think I need to, in the future, probably adjust how much stream delay I'm working with so that I have some more feedback on when shit's not working properly. Because a 15-minute stream delay is fucking rough.
Do you think it was the source recorder?
It might be. I'm still using source record right now. My assumption is it's crashing midway through the recording, but I'm not sure. I don't know why it would be doing that, but we're gonna see if this one actually sticks. But this is the first time I've seen that the proper broadcast works.
Or you want me to cover Phantom Company rollout?
Going north of Ring Road?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Of course, of course.
Alright, heard. I know that rolled out. Messi, you want to have one of your guys jump in with me? That way I can cover you with a gun as I escort you there.
See, now what I didn't know between these two rounds is that we get a change of scenery. I thought we would have the same capture points, but it looks like it's going to be rotating onto the south side of the map, which is going to be very interesting in terms of
that's the
difference.
Funny, beautiful thing about Fogless Ras is if I pop open my map here, the first round, although my viewers don't know it because the whole first round was kaput, but the first round we had a huge northern lane from Dog Park Apartments all the way to the old barracks. And this second round is shaping up to be pure south lane, which is going to provide a completely different experience from round one. We are rolling out now. And we're going to follow alongside the Ghost of Narva's Humvee as we explore the south side of the map as fast as we possibly can.
54 seconds behind on time.
Guys, they can rush Ring Road. I want my vehicles helping me on Ring Road. Off the rip if that's possible.
So Wolf is keen to point out the possibility of that Ring Road rush. Looking at the map here, Oru Village and Ring Road are usually a prime candidate for a rush coming from that eastern Russian side. So it's very important that this Humvee makes its way into that cap as quickly as it can, gets its rally set up, and gets its presence known so that Phantom can establish an early advantage.
I'm not entirely familiar with all the rollouts between the points, but it does not necessarily... I can't quite tell. It looks like there's a 50-50 chance that these Phantom Company BTR-82s are going to make that Ring Road rush. But they're going to be doing it through the city rather than...
Urso, I think I'm cursed. Well, I don't even know what's happening anymore, man. Hello?
I just got sniped. I have no idea who's in the south. He's in the south.
Hello? Urso, can you hear me? My Discord's not working, Urso! I think I need to restart Discord because I have lost my co-caster, I believe. We're gonna try to restart Discord and get my co-caster back.
7, your rally burn. They're close.
See if this fixes things. I'd love to have Urso back.
Radio from east side. It's just audible at the report.
Hello?
Are you back?
I don't fucking know what's going on. I think I'm cursed, Urso.
I was
This-
like, he's not responding to
this-
calls. I'm just gonna keep going.
This is why I make Logano stream. Because this has been the most debacle-filled evening of technical problems I've ever had in my entire life. And I think props to OBS because I believe we are actually still streaming. OBS did not crash. Urso,
just dropping bodies left and right. Phantom right on top of an engine BTR-80. Not sure he's going to be able to make a lot of ground on that one. Though Phantom Company do seem to be pulling in a BTR. 82 took a direct hit from that mortar, but it seems like his engine is still online, able to push him into safety and out of mortar fire. That's that teamwork we were talking about in round 1 that we don't have footage of, but
I missed a
This is
BTR
round two.
push.
yes, he missed a BTR.
So not only has my OBS been crashing, but I think my internet is going in and out now as well. I'm just cursed. But it does look like this backline is becoming kind of interesting from Tactrig, managing to get some people into that warehouse position. Axios Recon on the Combat Engineer, Claw, Boa, Bro Dude, all working this eastern warehouse. Maybe about 100, 200 meters away from a Phantom Company radio. So I'd love to see them continue with that.
We have one Phantom Company on back half here on the second point, and
Come in, Dylan. If you're hurt, just stay.
I don't know if I'm shooting there, if I'm the back cap of Phantom Company. I'm one man on the point, and I'm getting hunted down by infantry here from Tactrig. I'm staying as quiet and sitting as small as I can, not wanting to take any unnecessary risks. If they die here, that really is going to hinder the push overall.
I don't think they managed to get a rally. Am I right about that? Did they have a rally? They do have a rally farther north in that village area.
They do.
So they will be able to return back in here, but they won't be able to get back quickly. One thing you see a lot with competitive and community scrims like these is the rallies are placed very conservatively, which makes them much harder to burn, but it also means that the players have to play much more carefully, lest they have to walk back a lot farther.
We're capping Oru.
Tactrig is starting to make quite a bit of progress on Oru. 3 Tactrig finding themselves on their radio. Evol barely able to win their gunfight. They are definitely hurting, but this radio is being significantly pressured at the moment. Excellent
Between this
grenade.
radio and the slow back cap from Phantom Company, I know I said it was a good start early, but man, they really did not hold on to that aggressive lead, and it's going to come back to bite them.
So Evol's going to begin to dig on that radio while his squad leader holds the angle on the pile of Phantom Company just stuck in this building right to the south. This default hab building getting picked apart by armor, rifles, 50 cal, and just about anything Tactrig can throw at it to keep them stuck in this building. A few are able to make it out, which is really important. If you're stuck inside of a hab building, the number one thing you can do is just get the hell out of it, even though every bone in your body is telling you to hide and stay alive. Friggy the first to take the fight to Flaccid. Maybe not, going for the flank first. Might be able to see through the window. Frogman
Securing their second point, and Tactrig all over their third. No one's on it.
Oof, a trade with Frogman and Figgy on this radio. That's going to leave Evol, Flaccid, and Pearl, the only 3 here to duke it out. Evol goes down. Pearl might be able to save this radio. It's not bleeding yet. It looks like Flaccid's going to be able to take Pearl down. Gladson's now got himself in the very uncomfortable position of being sort of isolated in having to dig this radio down. Thought Patrol, the only one close enough to really help out immediately. But even as I say that, Phantom Company is able to push some small numbers across that road on the low grounds. Mexican Jesus, ooh, does go down, so never mind. But
Either way, Tac Trig will slowly be able to claw their way back into that radio, as that radio is staged. However, there is a rally, it looks, inside that hab. Maybe that Phantom Company can keep spawning bodies in and try to push them through.
that is something I don't think I've ever seen be useful before, is a rally on top of a hab. But yeah, I mean, if your radio is staged... Oh no! Yeah, that rally's just gonna make sure that they get farmed by armor. Really, very unfortunate for those guys that just spawned in 2 seconds prior.
Tech Trig is capping apartments, although they don't quite have the foothold. Nah, you know what, I'm gonna take that back. They do have the foothold and the positioning across this map to really dominate and open this up. If I'm Phantom Company, I need to be on my radio calling for a conservative pullback here, because Tech Trig is deep in their back line. They're not even halfway to capping their third point. Phantom Company is very behind.
So we're seeing some Tac Trig armor able to kind of assert dominance on these rails, which is not what you want to see if you're Phantom Company, because those rails should be kind of a death sentence. It's hard for vehicles to operate on those rails freely because there's so many places to get shot from. But the fact that Tac Trig Squad 5 armor is just able to do that is kind of a sign of the state of the infantry at Oro Village and beyond. This
What I'm
radio.
curious about is we have a Tac Trig Lav really diving deep into the lines of Phantom Company. I mean, he is all the way at their second cap right now. He's about to have an overlook right on top of Phantom Company's BTR-82, and he does so, missing the first couple of shots. Smoke comes out. Rounds not quite finding, but through the smoke, BTR-82 take a couple of pop shots over at that Lav. Wow.
Rally burnt.
This Lav is a little bit in an aggressive position as two BTR-82s are going to be able to rotate back in. If I'm him, the engine's one.
Scrim here to support. A little bit of a slugfest. That goes one BTR down.
This Lav is engine with one build down. They're not going to be able to do much. Maybe they'll get that push off, but they got to flip that Lav around to get that push going. But I don't think Phantom Company's going to want to take this trade.
The BTR pick was really nice. This Lav is in a very exposed position, but yeah, you're right. This is really not a good situation. Even if Phantom Company's BTRs make a push for that Lav, they're not going to be able to get more than one kill before the 3 Lavs wipe them. However, we are looking at a T90 coming right out of main. Now that is something that could put these Lavs on the bridge in a lot of trouble. But we're also able to, we're seeing Tac Trig able to shove out just in time. Crystal getting the push onto Enjoyer.
And they're taking AT shots as they're running out. They should be able to keep pushing them out, but I think they should be safe.
They should be able to get out of there. Now let's go revisit this Oru Village situation. It's looking like the radio that Phantom Company had on Oru Village is now finally bleeding out, and there is precious little to absolutely no Phantom Company around to be able to deal with that. So this radio at Oru Village is for sure going to be toast. I see very few, maybe a few east at apartments that might be able to help with that, but
Phantom Company is able to be getting their cap on apartments, but there's no way they're going to want to full cap it. I think they just might be buying themselves a little bit of time by making Tac Trig work for that capture point. 76 finding himself between Ghost of Narva and Thought Patrol.
I think Thought's going to get the first pick on this
position to
one. There we are. Oh, pulls out a grenade at the wrong exact time. And down goes 76. And we have now seen that radio at Oru Village bleed out. That's 20 tickets off of the board for Phantom Company.
Phantom Company dropping another BTR-80. Just a BTR-80, not a BTR-82, my bad. The Lav 6s this game are really, you know, showing up to show out, as I like to say.
And I mean, you just look how even like the moment that radio on Oru Village bleeds out, just look how much farther past that Tac Trig is from Oru Village already. They're already in apartments. They're already pushing. And even now, as I say this, if you look even farther east, they are already past apartments and taking control of warehouse. I think we might be about to see a roll in the making here because Phantom Company
a little
is
ambitious though. There is some check trick on apartment or on this warehouse, but not quite enough to stabilize and clear the point. Now I will give the fact that TT is really in deep on apartments and able to hold, but even then that bumps them up to 280 to Phantom Company's 230 if both capture points go to these two teams, and that's a lot of, that's 150 ticket difference between that. And if I'm Phantom Company, I don't know what to do.
yeah.
You are so early into the game, but your gap in tickets are immense.
So a roll the main kind of remains to be seen. Maybe not likely at the moment, but I think we're for sure going to see 2 to possibly even a devastating 3 flags change hands, which is really a game-ending proposition unless Phantom Company's able to do something. Now, through all of our technical difficulties in the first round, Tactric was able to pull off a victory of about 50 or so tickets in the first round, which means that Phantom Company would need to somehow pull a 50 to 60 ticket victory out of this one, and I'm not seeing anything right now that indicates that they'll be able to do that. We are seeing a couple at the pond south of the apartments. Pearl, Kimball trying to respond to the collapse as quickly as they can to stabilize things.
There's no need to pull both.
And it'll be just a moment before they find themselves into contact. Tactric really does kind of have the run of this apartment area for now. If I'm not mistaken,
Let me know when you guys are done preparing. I'm gonna pull ring.
do you hear the sound of Logi coming in and out, supplying a fob in the foundry, which is part of the reason that Tactric has been able to put themselves in such a strong position. This fob on the south side of Oru Village.
Tactric's UAV is spotted in the air taking shots, although a lot of information came down from it though. Not sure if they know this radio location. We've got Fathead well within range to hear it if he just takes a couple steps to the southwest. Not sure if that building's going to block a lot of that audio, but he is very close to this radio.
Unfortunately for Phantom Company, looks like that south push I mentioned earlier from the pond is almost disintegrated. They do have a rally they can reset on, but we're almost under 100 tickets for Phantom Company here. If you keep resetting like that, then you're not going to win anytime soon. Very close. Evil almost manages a pick onto Zach Barnett, who is dragging his compatriot to safety. It'll be a 1v1. I don't think Zach is going to manage this revive.
I care more about my ammo than your tickets because we're gonna win the round. So. Okay.
Very confident chatter and command chat from Tactric, but I think they've earned it.
I think
knowing
they've-
how far they pushed in.
Yeah, I think they know that they are very much on the upper hand here. This is Tactric's game to lose at this point.
It very much so is. I don't even think Phantom Company has a staged attack fob or even rallies within the area to be considered an attack. If anything, they're just trying to recuperate their defense, and quite frankly, I don't think they're quite there yet, but they're getting close.
Really, the only thing they have is their presence on Warehouse is still strong, and they have some fighters on the periphery south of apartments that are trying to pressure, but not really able to make that happen. And they do, however, have quite a marvelous-looking armored convoy moving straight through the center of all of this.
Yes, if I'm Phantom Company, again, I'm wanting to make some plays, although I'm not sure what plays can be made, but they need to be doing something because if Phantom, or if Tactric is knowing that they're this far ahead, Phantom Company's got to know that they're that far behind.
So Phantom Company BTR is making an interesting decision. Usually as a BTR, your number one advantage is your mobility. Here they're sacrificing that for some pretty tough to challenge hold down spots, as is their tank. Lined up 1, 2, 3 vehicles right next to each other, all in hold downs to prevent Tactric from being able to cross the street.
Tactric does have their helicopter still in the air. That is a giant highlighter of armor right there. I mean, I'm not sure as a pilot you can justify missing that.
That rally I had mentioned earlier on the south side by that pond Not about to be burned anytime soon, but Tactric surely knows that this rally is here, as they're getting some shots directly into it. Cotton Ball able to manage a pick earlier. Pretty deep towards that rally.
Getting a quick maybe trade on Sage. Did get that trade, but does take a shot. Siege behind, maybe pulling a little bit of cover. Siege falling himself to Shek.
We are seeing a couple Phantom Company just north of
Trying to ask Wolf.
Tactric's Oru Village setup. Might be able to pull a bit of backline shenanigans to make things collapse a little, but I think there's just far too much momentum from Tactric right now for even a fallen fob to really stop things from ending up the way they will.
I'm not thinking Phantom Company's going to be able to get much going. From what I saw from round 1, they weren't quite willing to make high-risk plays to close the gap, and if they need to anytime soon, it is now. I mean, you're 94 tickets in, you either got to sit and be complacent and know you're going to lose this a slow attrition, or you got to make a play. And I think you got to make a play, because I'm not the one to sit and wait.
Tree just hops off the roof of a high-rise apartment onto a below balcony, and then noob tubes a poor Tactric below him on a different apartment roof. That was pretty cool, dude. Nice shot.
We did miss a Tactric hat kit or lat kit falling in onto a BTR-82, taking him out. What a beautiful shot into this little alleyway. I mean, that's the risk you take. The more you play on defense, the more you're going to get whittled apart. I mean, Tactric's obviously shown that they can whittle, and they're whittling again.
The whittling skills
That's fine. We'll dig it ourselves.
are kind of going to be the death of Phantom Company here. We're now well under 100 tickets. These tickets are falling pretty quickly. I have to imagine Phantom Company will call some conservatism pretty soon, but really to what end when you've been trounced this thoroughly on multiple objectives?
And that's kind of what I was getting at is, I mean, I feel like you can't play complacent with Tactric. You can't play defensively with Tactric. They're going to keep chunking you away. You have to make them make bad decisions. And if anything, when you let Tactric make the decisions they want to make, they're going to make the right ones.
Yeah.
And that's what Phantom Company's kind of allowed them to do both rounds, is let them make the decisions.
And this isn't even something that's exclusive to Tactrig or these community scrims or competitive games. If you're playing in a pub match and your team is down by 2 flags, let's say, and you have voices in command chat telling you, okay, well, let's play conservative, let's not lose too many tickets. Really, the only answer can be to what end, because we're down by like 120 tickets. We need to make something happen. Either take tickets off of them or take a cap off of them to gain tickets if we have any hope of staying in. So either we lose going down swinging, or we lose by just turtling up and dying an inevitable slow death. In this case, you kind of hope that Phantom can do something crazy.
Tactric was thinking they were going to get a quick pick on that BRDM, but fell into a little bit of an ambush from a hat kit, dropping, losing that lav. Not that I think it'll make much of a difference here. That Abrams is starting to show up, so...
And this armor, again, making things a little difficult for Tactric, but not difficult enough to stop the wave from continuing. Oh, I checked my map at exactly the wrong time.
Move.
Is that a RWS Humvee able to take out a BTR-80? Yes, it is. Beautiful work from Mr. Wolf with the RWS Humvee.
The Abrams did get spotted by, I believe, a helicopter. Getting mismarked by myself keeps making me gaslight that I'm accidentally marking things, but I'm finding that it's not me.
So hearing quite a bit of autocannon to my west.
Ooh, is it that RWS that took out the
And
BTR-80?
it does look like
up?
it looks like a BTR-82 has claimed revenge. Actually, has just managed to take out 2 Tactric Humvees. That's going to be 10 tickets off the board plus their infantry. Not enough to really swing things, but this is
You
like
see a Phantom Company helicopter rushing to main to try to land on fire. Blades falling off.
oh no.
Burning heat landing. Not what you want to see when you have 50 tickets, dropping them down to 45. Wow.
Unfortunate.
one that was at warehouse got blown up. There's another one pushing south to north up to warehouse.
Not what you want to lose as well when you're already on defense, not knowing where the enemy tank is. Granted, this is Narva. We will know where most vehicles are given the fact that infantry can sneak their way in, but still, you're losing every little ounce of intel is not good.
It's looking like the map has developed into a north side positivity for
Did you see
Texas.
this?
I did not see
Tac
what
Trig
happened.
tank is tracked. Airstrike is overhead. Enemy team 90 has eyes and is engaging. Tac Trig's got to get this tank out of here.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. Another round coming into this tank.
And these are
Airstrike's
some
already overhead.
amazing smoke mortars from Phantom Company preventing... Oh, excellent airstrike. That is going to delete that Abrams. Well played by Phantom Company. I'm curious to see smoke mortars on that one instead of HUs, though. Like, yes, there's the idea, yeah, you can cut off the view of that enemy tank that's shooting your tank, but at the same time, you're giving those crewmen an opportunity to hide and repair without being challenged.
Been perhaps Tac Trig dropping smoke mortars on their tank. I don't know if they knew where that T90 was. I think they were just calling in everything they could to try to give them a little bit of space to operate. Hat Kit does track the T90. Ops able to get a shot on it. Airstrike.
Oh, we might just see an airstrike retaliation.
The north. On Phantom Company, I need to get out of that tank. I gotta know that they're wanting revenge. That airstrike has to be placed, and it is.
Let's see how this one lands. I don't see any crewmen here to really deal with the situation.
They're out, but I think it's too little too late. Tac Trig mortars
And those
dropping in.
mortars.
Crew dead.
This is the
Whole
reason
crew dead.
you use HEs and not smoke. I think those were enemy smokes earlier because the tank I heard in command chat complaining about them, although maybe that was just a miscommunication between Tac Trig squads.
Sure, I would be curious to know that airstrike coming in is going to be able to claim it unless they miss. They don't.
Not a chance. That thing is gone. So an excellent trade from Tac Trig. Yes, they lost a tank, but they'll take yours right back 2 seconds later. And with 8 tickets remaining, it's pretty easy to tell which way this one's going to end up. It's going to be the end of this match with just a little bit of cleanup left to do. As we wind into the final tickets, I do want to say thank you for those of you who are still watching after all the debacle that happened earlier. This was my first time doing a live stream, and as you can tell, I'm making some progress at it, but the technical side of things has been quite challenging. So for those of you who are watching right now, thank you so much for tuning in. And Ursa, thank you so much for joining us on this kind of crazy, chaotic cast. Usually it doesn't go this crazy, I promise.
No, you're all fine. I was a little hesitant based off the performance of the first round being relatively stagnant. This second game, I mean, absolute dominance from Tac Trig here. The aggression and honestly, it's not even just the aggression, it's the ability to sustain that aggression. We had Phantom Company coming out very aggressive in the early game, getting that hab early on or Village, but unable to sustain it. On the inverse, Tac Trig able to stabilize it, getting their foothold in that back line, and just executing. Absolute wonderful performance.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed doing quite a few of these scrims by now is you tend to have this 2-round dichotomy where one round is a very close matchup between both teams, and then round 2, or maybe it was the first round that was like this, but the other round tends to be much more dynamic and fast-paced, because one thing these teams have to do in these scrims is if you're facing the same opponent 2 times in a row, you must learn on the fly about them from their first round and devise what went wrong, what went right, and how you can take advantage of that in the second round. And good teams that can do that are able to make these huge sweeping pushes like we saw in this second round, because it was nothing like this in the first round.
What's interesting to me is the difference in the details screen. It wasn't just the fact that Phantom Company was unable to get their back cap secured, which I think ultimately was to their massive detriment. Even the infantry losses here, we see a roughly 70 ticket difference in these two teams. Radios, 2 radio losses to none. I mean, you can't be taking these losses. And if I'm Phantom Company coming out of round 1, I want to swing for the fence, and maybe that's what they were doing in the beginning of the game. But man, they got to be able to sustain that sort of aggression, and that's kind of a skill that takes a little bit of a development. It's hard to do across an entire team as well.
It could be really tough coming out of a first round with a loss, even of a small number of tickets, because you now know that you have to fight really, really hard to push past those tickets you lost the first round by, and that can make it. You can really put yourself at risk for the next round. Hey, Wolf.
That's fair.
Hello,
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
We
I'm
had
trying to see if we can get Segan for an interview, you know?
That'd be amazing. Unfortunately, I need to let you know, Wolf, the technical side of things for me has been an absolute nightmare this whole time. All of round 1 is lost, and
GG.
the beginning rollout of round 2, my internet died. So
Oh, no.
OBS crashes plus internet death means the entire first round was kaput. But the second round, we were able to get some good footage of this second round. Hey, Siege, how's it going? Welcome.
Hello. Hi.
We were just talking about Dexy's first time ever streaming and how he lost the entire first round of footage because OBS crashed twice in the middle of it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I
OBS
think
crashes will do it to you.
I was able to make most of the second round happen, but my internet died on rollout. So this match has been cursed, but we're really happy you were able to be here with us for it anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm super glad I was able to join. For anyone watching, this was definitely it was my first competitive scrim, or my first foray into listening to all of the comms and stuff like that. I mean, I've been playing squad for a good amount of time, but yeah, it was definitely something kind of different. Really fun though. I will be back.
So I if I could poke at you for just a couple seconds here, what are like 1 or 2 things that you noticed playing in this scrim that was wildly different from most pub matches that you've been a part of?
First one that was like on a squad level were the callouts of kills. It's almost like over communication, but it's like, sorry, you would maybe can I consider it over communication in a pub match, but in this it was really, really useful because I mean, even in one moment there was a point where E1, who was my lat while I was playing rifleman for him, there was a moment where he kind of went over a rise and he was able to say, you know, -1, where I had already kind of slowed down my movement towards the rise, so that I would like not just kind of run straight into a firefight with like, you know, without my gun up, but because he was able to then kind of say to me, is like, you know, like -1, I knew I could kind of keep moving up faster. And it also, yeah, I mean, like whenever you can hear your teammates like calling out kills, being able to like, you know, pop your attack map open, have a quick look at where they are, and kind of give yourself an idea of like how fast you can move into a certain area, and or how slow you should be moving. That was a huge difference for me on even just on the smaller squad level. On a big side of things, the over communication, or sorry, I keep saying over communication, but the communication was like so much heavier than what you would get in a pub match. Obviously, you know, if you're not an SL, you don't get command chat, but in, you know, in a situation like this, you get to sit in a Discord call, and I feel like Discord call was used almost like an extended command chat.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cool. I kept it on full volume for the first half. Second half, I then toned it down so that I could concentrate more on my squad, because I, you know, got the idea of how it was going in that first half, and realized that it's not going to like affect my play as much. So I kind of tuned it down and knew that my squad leader Aiden would have been able to relay anything super important.
Yeah, as I've been doing these and as I see more and more of these, I kind of start getting used to the things that groups like these do on a regular basis that are so different than a normal match of squad. And we saw it once or twice even here. Urso was a first party witness to this of one of the lavs got engined and there's another lav nearby. You can guarantee in a community scrim that other lav is going to push the engine 1 to safety, and you just cannot count on that in a pub match. So
Right.
it's a very different mindset going into a scrim where, you know, every one of those 45 other players on the map has your back, 100% for sure. And
Oh,
it's a really
absolutely.
wonderful feeling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like there's no like concern of, you know, the random blueberries that aren't on your team if they have a medic that they're gonna just run past your ragdolling dead body in a safe position. Um, you know for a fact that someone's gonna pull out a bandage and bring you up, even if
Totally.
they're not on your squad and so on. It's definitely, yeah, it was really cool. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself, and honestly, I'm looking forward to what I'm gonna do. I think is try and grab a list of teams that do scrims, probably mostly North America, and do my best to jump in and play with as many groups as I can, just to enjoy this kind of stuff. It's fun. It's a good way to like, you know, get 2 really solid games of squad in, and I definitely think that more people should be doing it. If there's anyone like watching, listening, that has you know, not done these you know, these competitive scrims, I mean, it's my understanding that, you know, if you were to join tactical trigonometry and just sign up for these scrims, you can kind of join in and play, whether you have experience or don't have experience in competitive play.
Yeah, we actually had. I remember talking, and maybe Wolf or Aiden could chime in on this, but there were quite a few people on our tactic team today who were pretty much brand new to the idea of community scrims. Can you guys confirm that, Wolf or Ego or Aiden, maybe? Like, how many people would you guys say were totally new to this today?
I think today we played like a much stronger roster than usual. But even today we had like 6 people who've never played with us before. So normally we try to have like a 70-30 ratio of people that are experienced and people that are newer.
So yeah, even like if you're watching this and you're like, hey, that looks kind of neat, just please know that the barrier to entry on this kind of a thing is very low. All you have to do is hit up discord.gg/tactrig, ask around, and we can point you in the right direction. Even if we can't roster you on the very first one, there's a good chance we can get you in really quickly.
And there's like plenty of other teams that does this.
Absolutely.
We basically play scrims every weekend. So there's at least 7 or 8 other communities that do the same thing.
Yep. So, I mean, even if you're watching this and you don't play on tactrig and you don't have any intention of playing on tactrig, there are some decent chances that one of the servers that you frequent runs something like this. And all you need to do is hop onto their Discord and poke around for a little bit and see if they've got something a little bit like this, because many of them do. Well, thank you so much, Sieg, for joining us. It's been amazing having you on. I'm really happy that you had a good time. I hope we can get you here for another one where the technology is working a little bit better on my end, because whether this one gets turned into a full video or not is kind of up in the air for me right now. Round 1 is for sure not going to happen, unfortunately, but I do hope you've taken a look at some of those videos that I've done, because I work really damn hard on them. Urso was just telling me that he thought they were some pretty great content. So I hope we can get you in for one that's not a total mess like this one was. Sorry, Urso, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're looking for a good video, there's a not Lashkar Valley. I can't remember what map it is, but I was in Attack Trig versus Throngler video, and it's definitely got some
Camdash TC.
Yes, and it's got some really
We don't talk
wonderful
about that.
angles of me getting killed doing really dumb stuff. So
We don't talk about that game.
Wolf has stuff he doesn't want to talk about that match. Urso has some other situations that happened in that match that you will have to watch the video to find out what we're talking about, because I'm not going to be mean to him here, because I'm very grateful to him for being here and showing up for this. But yeah, I mean, if you watch that video, you'll see what happened to Urso in the first 20 seconds of the video.
Oh, it's a very unfortunate. I'd like to expunge that from my record.
No, that one's permanent. You're unlucky that we didn't have the technical difficulties on that day.
Oh, a man can dream.
All right, unless anyone else has anything to add here, I think I'm going to wrap up this stream. Anyone have any final words for our audience?
No, not for me. Just thanks again to Tactical Trig for having me in today. It was awesome. A lot of fun.
And thank you for joining. All right, with that one, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already, and check out some of those scrim vids I was talking about, because I really do work my ass off on those, and I hope you guys will like those.